Hello everyone. Welcome to the course on Introduction to EV and Hybrid Electric Vehicles. So dear learners, in this lecture we are going to discuss about the standards and protocols for EV charging infrastructure. So let us start the lecture. So basically an EV charger, which is also called as EVSE, electric vehicle supply equipment, is an element in EV infrastructure that supplies electric energy for recharging the electric vehicles. As proliferation of EVs depends on access to the charging infrastructure, the nation needs to follow common specifications and standards for the infrastructure be used for all categories of vehicles and help it scale seamlessly. So first of all, we will discuss about the charger types. So first one is the private charger. So the private charger is a home private charger which are generally used with 230 volt 15 ampere single phase plug which can deliver a maximum of 2.5 kilowatts of power. Thus, the vehicles can be charged only up to this rate. The billing for the power is part of home metering. So this will be continued till a policy evolves to charge the home users differently for EV use. However, inclusion of RCD, that means residual current devices, should be ensured. And as per the IEC 60309, industrial connector to be used from both ends. The existing Indian safety guidelines should be followed. Next one is the public charger. So for charging outside the home premises, the electric power needs to be billed and payment needs to be collected. Further, the charges may depend on state of grid, whether it is power surplus or is in power deficit state. The power utilizers may also want to manage power drawn by these chargers from time to time. Now, we will classify the charger specifications. So, with reference to the charger types discussed above, it is more appropriate to classify chargers based on power ratings. You have already studied about the types of chargers based on the power ratings. So, mainly there are slow chargers and fast chargers. So, the definition of slow chargers and fast charger is not sufficient, as the same charger should be acting as a slow charger or a fast charger depending upon the vehicle to be charged. For example, a 2.5 kilowatt charger will be a slow charger for a 4-wheeler but could be a fast charger for a 2-wheeler. So this is regarding the classification with respect to the power rating. Now we will discuss about the AC chargers. So the batteries are DC and needs DC power for charging. If the public chargers, which is also known as off-board chargers, are DC chargers, the batteries could be charged directly. For public outlets feeding AC supply to the EV, the chargers are on board and these on-board chargers are supplied by vehicle manufacturer. The specifications here deals with only the public off-board chargers. The electric 2-wheeler, 3-wheeler and 4-wheeler vehicles in India do not have an onboard charger beyond 2.5 kilowatt or 3 kilowatt. Basically this is to save or minimize cost in vehicle, and this is likely to continue. 4-wheeler manufacturer may not even have a higher power onboard charger. In Europe, vehicles have onboard chargers with higher power rating. For example, we have Tesla, which is having a 16 kilowatt charger. However, in India is unlikely to have onboard charger with higher ratings in near future. Definition and building of AC fast charger beyond 2.5 or 3 kilowatt is not taken up in this study. So in this lecture we will discuss about the specifications of AC public off-board charger up to a maximum charging rate of 2.5 kilowatt or 3 kilowatt. For such chargers, the charging point needs to be only 230 volt single phase. So these AC 2.5 kilowatt or 3 kilowatt charger could be fast charger for a two-wheeler having a battery capacity of 2.5 kilowatt if they have appropriate onboard charger and in an hour's time. Four-wheeler or larger vehicles with batteries of 12 kilowatt hour or more will be charged in 5 to 6 hours. So let us now discuss about the DC public off-board charger. So depending on the nature of battery and vehicle, different sizes of higher capacity DC fast chargers are required and some basic variations in charging rate and voltage rating are specified as follows. So for 10 kilowatt, 15 kilowatt, 30 kilowatt, 50 kilowatt or higher capacity of DC fast chargers with a voltage rating which charging has to be carried out for 48 volt or 72 volt for two-wheeler, three-wheeler, small and medium four-wheeler, and it's up to 750 volt or even higher for medium to high-end four-wheeler. The cost associated with charger of different voltages and powers are very different. The cost of DC chargers below 100 volt and charge rate of 10 kilowatt to 15 kilowatt may be of 2000 US dollars, US dollars 2500 in volumes. Above 100 volt and charge rate between 30 kilowatt to 50 kilowatt, the cost may be higher. They may be required in selected places. Now these DC public off-board chargers are classified as follows. First one is the level 1. So the public off-board charger at an output of 48 volt or 72 volt with power output of 10 kilowatt or 15 kilowatt with a maximum current of 200 amperes. This will be called as level 1 DC charger. Now the level 2, it is a charger which is having an output voltage of up to 1000 volt with power output of 30 kilowatt or 150 kilowatt. These will be called level 2 DC chargers. Now some of the requirements for the DC public chargers related to communications which are as follows. So the EVSE needs to communicate with BMS of battery pack in EV to enable it to charge at right rate for maintaining SOH of batteries. Physical layer for this communication will be CAN as it is commonly used by vehicle manufacturers in India. The communication between EVSE and central management system located at power utility company so as to enable maximum charging rate to be controlled depending upon the rates of grid supply. This will also enable metering at different rates. This is critical as whenever vehicle consume large currents and grid should be able to supply it. This will also enable reservation of chargers by users. So for all public off-board chargers, the communication protocol used will be OCPP. This will be carried on internet using wired media or wireless by using Wi-Fi or GPS or 3G or 4G connections. The communication between CMS and user operator mobile. Now the billing and payment. So the customer needs to be billed for the charging and payment needs to be made. There are multiple options including debiting the user account based on VIN, which is vehicle identification number, direct debiting the funds to users equipment based on VIN will be adopted. Alternately, a mobile application to be defined which allows a user to charge using BHIM or Bharat QR code or other digital payment schemes specified by Indian government to be used both for AC as well as DC chargers. Display and keypads should be kept to minimum to minimize costs. Communication with mobile is encouraged. EVSE should have right safety system built in and environmental protection. Now the economic model for public chargers. So a preliminary economic model for AC chargers and for DC L1 chargers has been carried out. As volume prices fall, the chargers can be stand-alone business. Besides, the capital cost of charger and cost of provision of electrical line, space cost sharing and manpower costs dominate. So this is regarding the DC public off-board chargers. Now we will discuss about the Bharat EV AC chargers. So first of all, we are going to discuss about the BEVC AC001, which is adopted in India. So the specification of a public metered AC outlet, which is also known as PMAO, which is to be provide AC input to the vehicle which has onboard chargers. So in this, the EVs for charging at 230 volt standard single phase AC supply with a maximum output of 15 ampere and at a maximum output power of 3.3 kilowatt is considered. The PMAO is a slow charger for low power vehicles. Now, what are the general requirements for this EV SE? General requirements. So, the EV shall be connected to PMAO for conductive energy transfer function. The system will have following general specifications. So, the PMAO is supplied with 3-phase AC power and output single phase AC power. The energy transfer mode will be conductive. Each outlet will have up to 3 independent charging sockets. The PMAO has built-in metering, safety and monitoring. The central management system and PMAO communicate with each other to serve purposes of firmware, reservation, cancellation, addition and deletion of PMAOs, etc. Now, the input requirements for the AC charger. First one is the AC supply system with 3-phase 5-wire, 3 phases plus neutral plus potential ground. The nominal voltage is 415 volt as per IS 12360. The input frequency is 50 Hz plus minus 1.5 Hz. The input supply failure backup. So, in this case we have the battery backup for minimum 1 hour for the control system and billing unit. Data logs should be synchronized with CMS during backup time in case battery drains out. Now, the output requirements. So, the number of outputs will be 3 and type of each output will be AC 230 volt single phase as per IS 12360. 3 independent charging sockets as per IEC 60309. Female connector to be used on the PMAO side. Output current will have 15 amperes current for each vehicle charging simultaneously. The output connector compatibility is IEC 60309 industrial blue connectors to be used. Connector mounting, angled connector mounted looking downwards for outdoor use. Double pole breaking RCD of less than 30 milliamperes is recommended. Limiting output current. So, a circuit breaker which is used for each outlet limits the output currents to 15 amperes. Output selection. The breaker inside to be energized in sequence, 1 round of all 3 phases before the second round. Socket readiness. An LED to indicate that the socket is ready. Isolation. Input and outputs should be isolated. Outputs should be isolated from each other to avoid cross talk. Now, the user interface and display requirement. So, visual indicators like error indication, presence of input supply indication, charge process indication and other relevant information. Display messages like the PMAO should display appropriate messages for user during the various charging stage like vehicle plugged in, plugged out, duration since start of charge, time to charge, authorization status, idle charging in process, SOC, fault condition, on and off switches, are simply push button type. Emergency stop switch is mushroom headed push button type with red color. The display and touch screen size is minimum 6 inches with 720 x 480 pixels. User authentication is by using mobile application or user interface, which is OCPP media to be used is open. The metering information as per the consumption units. Now the billing and payment requirements. So the metering as per units consumed for charging the battery of each vehicle as per Indian standards. The billing process is grid responsive and the payment methods are BHIM compliant mobile application payment methods. The protection and safety requirements. So the safety and protection to be ensured for Indian safe specific environment as per AIS 138. So at the start of charging, the outlet will be locked and covered. The connector will be exposed to charging only after user authentication using user interface or mobile application. Only when the lock opens and connector is properly connected, the switch or relay will turn on to feed power to EV. So at first the lock will be opened only after full charging and authentication by user or the operator. Once disconnected, the charging session terminates. In case of power failure, if the user wants to terminate the session, the user can shut off the switch and remove the plug. If user does not remove the plug, the charging resumes when power comes back. Now, in case of interruptions, so connector terminals to be mounted with temperature sensors to avoid burning of connectors. If plug is taken out for more than 2 seconds and then reinserted for charging, the charging session will disconnect. A new session will be required to continue charging. These cells ensure that no one can remove a vehicle being charged and insert their own cable and use the infrastructure without paying or at someone else's account. Now the mechanical requirements. So the PMAO should have locking mechanism for the connector while charging. The mechanical stability. So the cable shall not be damaged by mechanical impact energy. The IP ratings is IP54. The cooling is air cooled or forced air cooled to protect the equipment against temperature hazards. The environmental requirements is the ambient temperature range should be between 0 to 55 degrees. The ambient humidity should be 5 to 95% as per AIS 138 part 1, and the ambient pressure should be 86 kilopascal to 106 kilopascal as per AIS 138. The communication requirement. So the communication between PMAO and Central Management System, first one is Open Charge Point Protocol, OCPP 1.5 protocol. So it should be upgraded to next version of OCPP whenever it is released. It should authorize the operation before electric vehicle can start or stop charging. The PMAO should respond to CMS for various queries and commands. Metering, grid responsive metering as per units consumption of each vehicle. Next one is interface between charger and central management system and a reliable internet connectivity. So this is all about the Bharat EV AC Chargers 001. Next we will discuss about the Bharat EV DC Chargers 001. So the Bharat EV DC Chargers BEVC DC 001 mainly specifies for low voltage DC EV charging stations in India. These are also referred to as DC chargers for conductive connection to the vehicle with an AC input voltage of 3 phase 415 volts. So the general requirements for this DC chargers are: the methods for charging an EV is to use an off-board charger for delivering direct current. The EV shall be connected to the EVSE so that in normal conditions of use, the conductive energy transfer function operates safely. So, the energy transfer mode will be conductive. The EVSE type will be dual connector DC EVSE, and the number of outputs will be 2, and the charging mode will be mode 4 DC charging. Now, the system requirements or the parameters required for this structure is regulation. The regulated DC EV charging station with combination of the modes controlled voltage charging, which is known as CVC, and controlled current charging, which is called as CCC. Now, the isolation. Isolated DC EV charging station according to the type of insulation between input and output, which is the basic insulation, reinforced insulation, double insulation. Each DC output should be isolated from each other. Next is the environmental conditions, outdoor use. So, EVS is classified for outdoor use, can be used for indoor use provided ventilation requirements are satisfied. The power supply AC mains to DC EV charging station. DC output voltage rating, which is up to and including 100 volt. The charge control communication communicate by digital and analog signals. The output current is 200 amperes. The interface interoperability, the interoperable with any EV non-dedicated can be used by any consumer. Now, the operator, operated by a trained operator or EV owner. Now, there are various input requirements for this DC charger. So, first of all, the ratings of AC supply. So, the AC supply system would be 3-phase 5-wire AC system, and the nominal input voltage is 415 volt as per IS 12360, and the rated value of frequency is 50 Hz. Battery backup. The input system to have a battery backup for minimum 1 hour for control and billing unit. The data logs should be synced with CMS during backup time in case battery drains out. Now, the output requirements. So, the charger can provide 2 DC output suitable for 48 volt and 72 volt vehicle battery configurations. There can be 2 categories of charger based on the limit on output power of the chargers. So, the charger should allow charging of one vehicle with maximum power 10 kilowatt or 15 kilowatt, or two-wheeler vehicle with limited power 3.3 kilowatt at 48 volt only. As per the output configurations, the DC output voltage is 48 volt or 72 volt, output current limited to 200 amperes, and the converter efficiency greater than 92% at nominal output power. The power factor is greater than 0.9 at full load. The service life of coupler and braking capacity of the coupler as defined in IEC 61851. Now, the charger configuration types. So, type 1 we have single vehicle charging at 48 volt or 72 volt with a maximum of 10 kilowatt power, or a two-wheeler vehicle charging at 48 volt with maximum power of 3.3 kilowatt. Now, we have the type 2 in which single vehicle charging at 48 volt with a maximum of 10 kilowatt power, or 72 volt with a maximum of 15 kilowatt power, or a two-wheeler vehicle charging at 48 volt with maximum power of 3.3 kilowatt. The output connectors are 2 in numbers. Output 1 to be used for 10 kilowatt or 15 kilowatt charging, in which the connector is GB/T20234.3, and output 2 is having a connector to be used for 3.3 kilowatt charging, capacity. Now the cable requirement. So the charging cable assembly as per section 10 of AIS 138 except the functional characteristics are as follows. The functional characteristics: the maximum cord length will be 5 meter straight cable. The connection type will be with EVSE as per 6.3.1 of IEC 61851. The cord extension set will be no extension cord to be used as per section 6.3.1 of AIS 138. The adapters will be no adapters to be used as per section 6.3.2 of AIS 138 part 1. And the storage means of the cable assembly and vehicle connector. So the EVSE should have storage for cable and connector when not in use at a height between 0.4 meter to 1.5 meter above ground level. Now the environmental requirements. So the ambient temperature will be in range between 0 to 55 degrees. The ambient humidity will be between 5% to 95%. The ambient pressure will be 86 kilopascal to 106 kilopascal, and the storage temperature will be between 0 degrees to 60 degrees. Now the mechanical requirements. So we have the ingress protection. The minimum IP degrees for ingress of object is IP 54. Now the mechanical impact as per IEC 61851-1. The stability, mechanical stability as per section 11.11.2.2 of AIS 138, and the cooling will be of air cooled or forced cool for protection and safety of equipment from any fire hazards. Now the protection requirements. So we have the protection against the electric shock. So as per AIS 138 part 1 section 7, we have the protection against electric shock and effective earth continuity between the enclosure and the external protective circuit as per AIS 138 part 1. Now we have certain specific requirements. So the DC fast chargers shall have provision of emergency switching, protection against uncontrolled reverse power flow from vehicle, output current regulation in CCC mode, output voltage regulation in CVC mode, controlled delay of charging current in CCC, limited periodic and random deviation current ripple, and limited periodic and random deviation which is in voltage ripple in CVC mode. So dear learners, in this lecture we have discussed about the standards and protocols related to the public charging, private charging, DC charging and AC charging. So with this lecture you can easily identify or you can easily get to know what are the frameworks, design and protocols are being adopted in India for the smooth functioning of the charging stations. So with this we will end our lecture here. Thank you for your patience and happy learning.